Hey, this is Seth with IndieManCareer.com. I show people how to get jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why I don't talk about politics much. I do a little, like most people. But for the purposes of what I'm all about, which is inspiring people to get in-demand skills, find freedom, happiness, change their lives, politics and political conversations, and even discussions about social issues and things like that, they're very counter to an entrepreneurial mindset, in my opinion. You can have, obviously, if you're in a startup that's environmentally minded, that's fantastic. But for the most part, politics is just gossip. And as we head into another election, you're going to be, if you're in my course or you're just looking to better yourself, I think you're going to find that politics is like, it's like you're on a diet and politics is the gummy bears, like sweets and nasty little guilty pleasures that will distract you from your goal of achieving your weight loss. If you are committed to a goal like getting digital marketing skills or starting a business, talking about politics is the number one distraction. I remember actually even at my I rented a workspace a year ago, and I had a coworker who was very strong political beliefs in a certain direction. And in this video, I'm not going to even mention specific parties or specific beliefs, but he had specific political beliefs. And he would love to stop at my desk, and I loved it. He was a very outgoing guy, but we would inevitably bring up something political. And it was like a rabbit hole. As soon as we started talking about it, he just needed and wanted that pulpit to express his viewpoints. And I found myself in many situations where I really just wanted to get back to my work, and I couldn't because this was happening. And then, or I would get re-indulged into it, kind of sucked into the conversation. And I think that's, as far as this, that's kind of the reality is, in my opinion, is that politics is just gossip. Gossip is basically like unproductive conversations about other people. If you're having a political conversation, you are either talking with people who have the same political views as you, and you're having kind of a circle jerk or masturbatory conversation where you're criticizing the other political party or the people who don't get your social point of view or something like that. You are having, it's masturbatory. You're just getting pleasure out of kind of restating how right you are about things and how wrong everyone else is. And it gives you a charge. And I've done this, everybody does it. It's nothing terrible. It's just not something, a lot of people do this all the time. This is what they think talking politics is. And it's just talking with people with your own political view in a way that doesn't really lead to growth or change or anything. It's just kind of a masturbatory gossip exercise. And the other thing is, if you do have the balls to talk with someone with an opposing political view, which most people don't these days, but even when you do, usually what happens is just a lot of arguing and fortifying yourself into your own position and the other person fortifying themselves in their position. There's no exchange of ideas, there's no growth, there's no learning, and there's no connection. Nothing positive is happening. You're just trying to convince someone, and you're not influencing them. Ooh, it's going to rain soon. It's very exciting. You're not actually going to convince anybody of anything. And there's like a pretense, and I hate that, where it's like you think, I actually dated somebody who was very, very, very politically in one direction. And she was always trying to educate people who didn't have her particular point of view. Educate. You try to educate someone that doesn't have your point of view, you're just an asshole. You're just pretentious. Nobody's going to listen to you to be educated unless they signed up for your class, And this happens all the time. And this is what politics is. It's just gossip and masturbation. So my advice, for you guys is if you have friends that are really into politics or your family, it's fine. Just don't get these conversations. It's just as distracting as video games or porn or junk food. And people get addicted to these political conversations, political beliefs. People will go crazy. Honey, the towels. Oh God, she has her headphones on. Wow, it's really raining, by the way. This is really unexpected. Baby! She has her headphones on. Baby! Oh, okay. She's cleaning up the towels. That was distracting. So, what was I saying? People also, I found, this is my belief and why I don't get too involved in it. People project their own unexamined misery and shit onto politicians. That's why politics is so dysfunctional. You know, politics in every country, really, but I'm familiar with America, is so sad because an average good person who's smart cannot be a politician. You have to have this crazy ego and personality and be able to put up with the bullshit of the press digging into your personal life and all this stuff. So you become this, like, it's really hard for, like, the average. There's a lot of really good people out there, I think, who would be really good in politics, but they just couldn't deal with the political process. But what the average person will do is they will project their own shit onto the politician. So what's the reason that each time another party, I'm not gonna, I made an effort not to mention any actual political parties or people. Anytime a certain political party gets into power, the people on the other side will project all their hatred onto that person. 10 years ago, it was one person was in power, and this group of people was like, he's the devil, he's terrible, it's, you know. Now this other guy's in power, and the other half of the country is going, well, he's evil, he's terrible. And everybody's projecting, regardless of what you think about actual policies or personality, people project their own emotions onto these people. That's why it's a big turnoff for me. It's like when you see people who are like, you might be talking to a nice, normal person, and suddenly they start talking politics, and they become really filled with hatred. And that hatred is inside the person. The politician is just a catalyst for it to come out. So I think politics is also a real big excuse for people to distract themselves from their own shit, their own problems. And I've met people who are completely defined by the politics, and it's usually not a very balanced situation. So what I'm saying to you guys, you're watching my channel, is that, you know, do what you're going to do, believe what you're going to believe, and get involved in politics if you want. But one thing I would say is you have to just be conscious if it's interfering with your goals, your life, or your happiness, or if it's defining you as a person. One of the most interesting things that happened the last few years is I became really political for about a year. It was almost like an exercise. And I went from one political extreme to another political extreme and back. I went from the left to the right. I left the country, came back. It was really interesting. And after you've seen the whole circle, I became neutral. I could see everyone's point of view, and I'm just kind of like very neutral about the whole thing. But when you're inside of either one of those positions, you're walking around very unhappy. And this is what I don't like about America right now. It's like you are like in a war, in a sense, if you really identify with a political party. And it's so sad is that like you could meet someone, be having a great time, and as soon as you find out that, oh, they support this person, everything changes. You no longer relate to this person as a human being who you liked. You are now relating to them based on your concepts and beliefs. And it sucks. And I've seen families get torn apart by this. I have people in my family where they say, oh, this person doesn't, likes this person. Well, we're not going to talk to them. I said, fuck that. I have friends who really, really go this far in this direction. I have friends that go this far in this direction. And I don't judge them. And I'm not, again, at this point, I'm not even mentioning any specific names or political parties. My point is, use politics to become more conscious. And use politics to become aware of where your mind might be trying to distract you from something. That's another thing I found is, like I said, it's a procrastinatory tool. You could be like working on your website, or you could be working on something that's going to benefit your life and get distracted by a political conversation. And I said that happened to me. That used to happen to me all the time before I became aware of it. And that's why I don't talk about politics much. Occasionally I'll talk with some close friends, and I literally will limit the conversation to 5 or 10 minutes. And if we're going more than 5 or 10 minutes talking about politics, I just end it. It's just verbal masturbation at that point. What are we accomplishing? I would say, if you actually have an opportunity to run into somebody with different political views who's open-minded, which is like finding a fucking unicorn, and that person, you start expressing some of your experiences or view, and that person's listening to you and like really interested. I mean, okay, absolutely share your political views and hear what they have to say. But that doesn't happen. People are just yelling at each other. In our country, you turn on the TV, the people who are supposed to be the most respected, they're just yelling at each other. It's like children. So, my advice, this rain, by the way, is awesome. I love it when it rains here because it's usually so hot. My advice is, stay focused on your goals, something positive. something inspirational. And remember, no matter what the political party in power is, they are not the cause of your life. Don't fall into that trap. Stay focused on what you're out to create in the world. Remember that your time and attention has value. Really does. The more productive or the more satisfied you are in life, the more aware you are of where you're putting your attention. And if you find yourself getting really sidetracked by this topic, just be aware of it and maybe cut it out. Okay, so that's my little rant for today, guys. I hope that was entertaining or informative. Feel free to leave comments below, and I will see you soon.